850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida. Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. Get ready.
Deep center field and heading for the horizon.
Sports Talk Radio will never be the same.
Onion pickles, onions, pickles.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Way back and gone.
On ESPN.
Northwest Florida.
It is a Friday. What is going on at Panama City Beach, Port St. Joe, Weewah, Hitchcock, and how are y'all doing this afternoon? Y'all can call in or text us today on the Red 7T phone line at 850-215-6290. The Red 7T phone line, the brand that brands you. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick. Caveman, how are you doing today, bud?
Doing just fine, thank you. How you doing? Hoping you're having a great afternoon. Kind of getting hot out there. Holiday weekend. A lot of people out there. Be careful this weekend, people. And hopefully this weekend, be kind of quiet down here, in manner speaking, you know what I'm saying? Like having the people down here is one thing, but maybe we won't have the shenanigans, the gunplay, the bad stuff that we've had here in the past little while.
I have a feeling that we will be just fine this weekend, but we will come back Tuesday and talk a little bit more about it. Bone Crusher on the 1s and 2s this afternoon. Whoop,
there you go. See, I'm already hearing it.
How we doing today, Bone Crusher? Hope everything is well.
I'm being detained.
There you go. We'll be there in a hurry. Get your bell bondsman on the line. Oh, man. Texas Tech right now in FSU. It's 2-0 in the end of the 6th, and Texas Tech got a big win last night in the Women's College World Series, or the Super Regionals right now to this point. So if Texas Tech holds on, Florida State will be eliminated, and Nigel Kennedy has been on fire for Texas Tech to this point. We're live and local from the CBC Construction Studios. You can go to cbcconstruction.com or give them a call at 850-747-3815 for all your construction needs. And before we get too deep into sports talk, we just want to take a second to recognize what's today and what this weekend is all about leading up to Monday, which is Memorial Day. It's not just about cookouts, beach trips, or ball games. It's a time to honor the men and women who gave everything for this country. Their sacrifice is the reason we get to do what we love, talking sports here, and just the time that you get to spend with your family, and most importantly, living freely. So wherever you are today, whether you're going to be grilling or throughout this weekend, watching sports or playing sports, out there on the water, whatever it is, take a moment and remember those who served and did not come home. From all of us over here at ESPN Northwest Florida, thank you to our fallen heroes. We remember you today and every day. The Mosley Green and Orange game is tonight at 6 p.m. It's actually going to be at Bozeman. I was planning on getting over there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it for the scrimmages and whatnot tonight, but it'll be at Bozeman, and the cost of attendance is just sport drinks, bottled water, detergent, or protein drinks, protein bars, whatever that may be. You can grab you some of those for the team and head up there to Bozeman to catch the green and orange game for the Mosley Dolphins. And we got a text earlier from Don Owens. Bay High School, their football team beat South Walton in their scrimmage game last night, 46-26. So looking forward to the high school football season, and all those youngins about ready to graduate and get out of school if they're not already. I have no idea. I know Liam's final day of school was this afternoon for University Academy, so they're getting ready for their summer break, and I'm sure most of the other youngins are as well. The Braves last night Oh, it was tough, Caveman Rick. Maybe not for you. Maybe it puts
Not
a
for me.
smile to your face. But the Braves were down in the seventh inning. This series has kind of been bonkers. They're scoring all their runs early on in the game. You had a 5-2 early lead for the Nationals last night. The Braves climbed back into the game to tie it up at 5. Then the Nationals took the lead, go up 7-6 going into the ninth inning. And Matt Olson drives in. I forget who was on third base. I believe it was Fairchild, but you had Austin Riley on second base. He gets thrown out, or trying to score from first base. He gets thrown out, and they go to extra innings. And for the first time this year, the Atlanta Braves lose in extra innings. And you can't tell what jersey I'm wearing, but Ronald Acuna Jr. is making his return tonight. So we are, as Braves fans, extremely excited about that. Caveman, are you expecting a little rust from Ronnie as he makes his return to the Atlanta Braves, or do you think he's had plenty of time? He's looked good in his minor league appearances.
The rust is probably, it's probably something you're probably going to see. It'll probably be a little time to shake off. Playing against minor league, talent isn't like, in the show playing against major league talent. So even if you're, doing really well, like AAA ball, what's it like up there, the Stripers?
Yeah.
Gwinnett Stripers.
Yeah.
If you're playing for them and like you're doing well, that's saying something. But then again, look at the talent, right? So actually talked about yesterday, was a little down about the Braves, even losing, not playing so well. Did have a little parlay going. It really failed miserably. Nothing hit, none of it. Like not even like the over-under for strikeouts. Nobody on there got a hit that I needed. So yeah, deservingly so. They didn't want me no money. So yeah, you guys take the L,
That is what you
So
get.
I got one going on tonight. It's involved the Braves too. I got Acuna getting a hit. So let's see what happens.
All right, well.
I figure, you've been out long enough, probably due. It's in a series, though, against the Padres. You guys got smoked by the Padres earlier in the year when you guys played them out west. Lost every one of those games. So, redemption maybe, or maybe you guys get your teeth kicked in again. We'll see.
I'm hoping for the redemption side of things tonight. The bad news, you can look at it with a positive or you can look at it from the negative, because we know that the Padres are a very good team, but they've been on a 5-6 game losing streak.
Kind of been streaky, with the hitting and stuff, too, I've noticed. They will go a couple games where a lot of the big name players, Machado, Tatis, Merrill, Arise will, get hits, and then the other games, all of them will go hitless, and not get nothing. So, yeah, they're just kind of, you and Sam were talking yesterday, I guess, about what Jekyll and Hyde team. You said, what, the Blue Jays you thought? That's another one, I think, is the Padres that kind of go either way sometimes with them. So, yeah, one of those kinds of teams.
And they took a big loss to the Blue Jays as well.
It was 15-0 or something?
14-0.
Okay.
14-0. 14, or was it 14-0 or 14-4? One of those two scores. Either way, they beat them by at least 10 runs. Coverage starts for the Atlanta Braves tonight, taking on the San Diego Padres at Truist Park. 6 o'clock for the coverage, 6:15 for the first pitch. Atlanta Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored locally by Bill Bird Kia, PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hewitt Tire and Auto, and Hometown Towing. Nick Pivetta going for the Padres. He's 5-2, ERA of 2.86, and the whip, nice, underneath 1 at .99. He's got 56 strikeouts going up against the big lefty, Chris Sale, who's 2-3, ERA down to 3.62. The whip is at 1.35, and he's got 72 strikeouts on the year. Hopefully the Braves can bounce back and give a little payback to the Padres this evening, and hopefully Ronald Acuna Jr. is the boost that the Braves need. And they also have designated for assignment Orlando Arcia. So DFA for Orlando, and Nick Allen has won the job, at least seemingly for now, to be the Atlanta Braves shortstop, which is pretty impressive as well. Matt Olson leading the Braves right now with 20 extra base hits, 9 doubles, 11 home runs. Marcell Ozuna is 11 for 35 with a double, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs over the past 10 games. Over the last 10 games, the Braves are 5-5. The team is hitting .284. The ERA is at 3.72, and they've outscored opponents by 9 runs. The Padres, however, are 2-8. Batting as a team at .206, just above the Mendoza line. 5.21 is the ERA, and they've been outscored by 34 runs over the course of the last 10 games.
Yeah, not so great. Like I said, kind of like a tale of two teams. They'll have stretches 8-10 games where they're lighting it up, and they're probably putting up a dozen more runs in a game. And then, like, you got this stretch right now. So maybe it's a get-right series for them because, well, actually, no, it's in Atlanta, right? So
yeah,
you guys started out there, so they're not at home. They're on the road. So, yeah, who knows? But maybe coming out this way might help them out. Get away from home.
Right here on ESPN Northwest Florida after the Afternoon Underdogs. We'll also talk a little bit more about your Phillies as they shut out the Rockies last night, and the Rockies are chasing history. As we're in the top of the 7th inning here over there in Tallahassee, Texas Tech and Florida State going after it. They're in the top of the 7th, as I mentioned. It is now a 2-1 ball game, 1 out, runner on third for the Noles. This is huge because right now Texas Tech holds a 1-0 lead in the Super Regional, meaning if Texas Tech gets out of this inning unscathed for the rest of the inning, then Texas Tech will be moving on to the Women's College World Series, and Florida State will stay right where they are right now. And then after this game, you're going to have Alabama and Oklahoma. Lots of exciting action in the women's college or in the super regionals to this point. As I was watching earlier today, you had Ole Miss take down Arkansas. Now, we've been hearing about Arkansas, and really all of the teams. We've heard how hot Ole Miss is, but Bree Ellis was up at the plate with, they were down 3. They were down 3 at this time. Bree Ellis steps up to the plate with a chance to tie the game and strikes out looking. And we're talking about she's almost got a 500 average. She's hit 25 home runs. There's 2 outs now here in Texas Tech and Florida State. But yeah, that was wild to see Ole Miss get the job done this afternoon. You also had Clemson taking down Texas last night 7-4. And so if Clemson wins one more, then you're looking at Texas taking an early exit. And we'll have some more games this evening. I'll be pulling up the scores here real quick just so we can get a update. We're going to have a great guest. We've got a lot of guests on. We were supposed to have Chris Gullen on with us at 4:20. He's traveling, so he can't make his appearance. We are going to have Sergeant Jenkins telling us about the Vortex Springs Rodeo today at 4:40. Andrew Weiss is going to hop on and talk a little Stanley Cup playoffs with us coming up at 5 o'clock. 5:20, Mark Monteith, he's a author. He will join us. He's up there in the Indianapolis area, so we're going to be talking NBA Conference Finals. And then at 5:40, Coach Scott Thomas will join us. He's the head coach for the Lady Commodores Gulf Coast State College softball squad. He'll join us. We'll talk about their season, what's up ahead, and then we'll look at each of the super regionals, get his picks on them, and then what he's looking for from each super regional. Our call-in question of the day, you can hit the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. I felt like, it's a nice day for some jovial communication. Who's the most annoying fan base when they're winning? And I am surprised that we did not get a slew of Alabama comments coming in through Facebook, but that's our call-in question of the day. Who's the most annoying fan base when they're winning? And it doesn't matter what sport you're picking from, we'll take them. Just text them in to 850-215-6290. Are you already ready to give yours? I was going to give you some time.
Comment on what you were saying about Alabama. I mean, I can kind of see where you're coming from with that, but
they're not.
They're one of those.
They're not winning right now.
Yeah, but they're also one of those fan bases. There's a couple of them out there that win or lose, they're annoying because they still want to talk trash. They still want to think that their team should matter or be relevant, even if they're not. So, I think Alabama's on that list for sure.
And we do have a final in Florida State. It is called, I'm reading a message, and it is 2-1. That is the final. Florida State goes down. That will end their season. Nia Kennedy, though, she just keeps on mowing them down. She made $1 million in NIL as well, which goes to show how special she is. All right, Kyle Albritton for our call-in question of the day. He's going with Ohio State. Nick Perry is going with the New York Knicks. They started throwing trash bags filled with trash at a fireman who works in New York, who is wearing Pacers gear. He'll be attending Game 4 as a guest of Tyrese Halliburton's, which is pretty cool stuff there. Game 2 of the Pacers and Knicks coming up tonight. I am stoked about that. Doc A, Steve Alexander, he's going with Oklahoma and Boston. Now, I would imagine that he's talking NBA here, so maybe he means Oklahoma City Thunder, or he could possibly mean Oklahoma and the Sooners, but they don't seem to be that bad of a fan base. When I'm thinking about Oklahoma, all of the fans that I know personally, they seem to be, normal.
I mean, I guess.
Not insufferable.
I mean, they haven't been the most relevant team in a while either.
When they're winning.
So, I mean, like, that might have something to do with it. He might be going back to, like, 80s and, like, 90s, something like that. Or, like, what was like around 2000, 2001. Oklahoma was still pretty relevant,
Amanda Lee, she's going with Packers fans. Of course, she is a Bears fan herself, so that would make the most sense as, just can't get along with your former stepfather, Aaron Rodgers, over there. Scott Price, poking the bear a little bit. Not that I'm a bear by any stretch of the imagination. I guess I would maybe qualify as a little cub or something, body stature-wise. Scott Price says either Tennessee Titan fans or Atlanta Braves fans. And what are Titans fans annoying when they're winning? Maybe that one year that we were the number one seed, and maybe we were annoying because we said we were the number one seed, and everyone was like, well, they're the worst number one seed of all time. And we kind of proved that to a small extent by taking a bow out of the first round against the Cincinnati Bengals after sacking Joe Burrow 9 daggum times. Chris Fall's going with Knowles fans. I think he did that also just to poke the bear. David Kelly says, Ala freaking Bama. Took a while, but we got our one. Jack Patterson says Miami Hurricanes, Florida Gators, and Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I don't think that the fans are as annoying as just like the football team, seeing them always. And they played very well last year, right? But they always get the spot in the playoff. They always get things that, like, does Notre Dame actually deserve that? Ethan Hewitt is going with FSU fans are the worst at 13-1 and still the worst at 2-10. Barrett Townsend's got the Cowboys. Johnny Yankee Seed says Patriots fans. And Ryan Mulvey says only one answer here, Cowboy fans, which also lumps in a few others. Yeah, Cowboy fans are normally what? Alabama fans, Laker fans, and Yankee fans.
Something
it
like
seems
that.
to go that way, right?
Or like I got like a buddy of mine's a Cowboy fan. He likes the Mets. When it comes to hockey, he likes like the Rangers, like a bunch of just different teams all over the place. San Antonio Spurs for basketball.
Hey, well, if you're still a Spurs fan right now, then, there's nothing to be ashamed about with that one, right? Because it's not like they're playing. They have the players, so you could be bandwagoning for the players, but the record hasn't matched up for quite a long time now, and now you're out of an era, right? With El Jefe now, but Coach Pop no longer the head coach of the Spurs.
We heard a lot of, obviously college teams. Not as many pro as I would have heard, though, or think I was going to hear. Dallas, obviously, I would have thought maybe the Yankees would be on that list, too. Another team that when they're winning, teams, people come out of the woodwork a little bit more. You hear about them a little bit more. But I thought Dallas might be on there quite a few more times.
Yeah, it is funny that Dallas did not get a lot of play right there.
It's been quite a while, 30 years, basically since they were pretty relevant. So, that's probably got something to do with it.
I would agree with you. But they're still annoying, though. Cowboys fans are still, for the most part, annoying.
They got a preference. They got to pick their spots now. You know what I mean? Because without winning recently, it's kind of hard to kind of get loud and proud when you haven't done a whole lot. So I think like now they're a little bit more subdued. But if they start doing something like say Jerry Jones, maybe he ends up meeting the Grim Reaper after a little while, then maybe things change. Stuff starts heading a different direction. When something like that happens, maybe like the Colts, real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but maybe Irsay, maybe 5 years down the road with him being gone, maybe a fresh outlook on the team, maybe that franchise really turns itself around and really, becomes like a contender, or something like that.
Or what if Jim Irsay was the one who got the Colts up to speed?
I mean, that's possible, but I would think with all of, like, his transgressions and the stuff, like, I mean, maybe I'm not like the best person to speak on this because I'm not a Colts fan or whatever. But it seemed to me like he had other like priorities in his life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Other things that were consuming his energy, his time, and things of that nature. The excess in life. But also, I mean, like he was a guy that like likes guitars, and he has like I don't know how many like thousands of them, or he's got like millions of dollars worth of guitars, just putting money into stuff like that. So when when you're doing stuff like that too, and I mean, you got your toys, I guess, when you got that kind of money. Just wondering, how much invested he was, and also being like, I hate to, be going, into this, but like nepotism kind of thing, it was his dad, obviously, that got the franchise. He was just, took over once his father died. So, how much was he really into it? Was it just his thing because he just kind of fell backwards into it, And if you get something, with some fresh outlook, like they're already talking, they might have to sell the team because of like the death tax. And if they don't have the kind of money to put up, or they don't want to, or get investors or whatever, they might be forced to sell the team. It's like $3, I believe. So that'd be kind of interesting to see, one, what the team would go for, and then two, who might step up and want to try to own. I mean, you got other people out there. I mean, we just saw Tom Brady, right? Peyton Manning's got tied to the team. Pat McAfee's got tied to the team. So you got other people that may want to insert themselves and try to better the franchise.
Hey, there you go. Well, when it comes to our call-in question of the day, who for you, as Ken Cullen says, any Philadelphia fan? Rick. He says Rick, too.
Yeah, I hear him. That's awesome, man.
A stamp on it.
I love it, man. Like, hey, that's...
Who is it for you, though?
Meaningful.
Who is the worst fan base?
God, man, how can it not be Dallas?
You're going with Dallas?
Probably so. I mean, in my lifetime, as far as, the stuff that I've heard and, and what have you, probably them. Like I said, Yankee fans maybe for like quite a while, but then again, over the course of the last 15, 20 years, they kind of haven't been what they used to be, especially when Steinbrenner was around,
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want to use them. They're not quite as annoying as they used to be. So I'd say still probably like Dallas fans, probably about the worst.
What you got, BC?
New Orleans Saints fans. I got to tell you, these guys are out of their minds. What was that guy's play there, Turley? They used to have this
Kyle Turley.
You remember that incident years ago?
He threw the helmet, took his
helmet
off.
He threw the helmet, blew the game, cost them the season, and the New Orleans Saints fans, they rallied behind him. They loved it. They loved it. And these morons, these Saints fans, I'm sorry, guys, I lived in New Orleans for a couple of years. If you go to a Saints football game and you wear another jersey, they're going to be giving you a hard time. But, hey, you go to a Falcons game and you wear another jersey, you're going to get some Southern hospitality. You're going to get some real class. Saints fans, you guys are the most annoying.
There you go. Saints fans, you are the most annoying. For me, I don't know which fan base I kind of want to poke at right now because it's between Tennessee, LSU, but then there's one that always rises to the top for me, and that's Ohio State. And it's really because the teams are great. So the fans, they have good reason to be annoying, but it's just so much. I can't remember too many times where Ohio State fans haven't been, or Ohio State football hasn't been at the top of its game, or at the, one of the top teams in the game. But the fans, they will let you, they will make sure that you remember that. So I'll go with Ohio State as just being up there with Alabama. In the SEC, though, I'm going to go with Florida. They weren't quiet last year. I don't think that I get it. I understand where they're coming from, but they tend to be annoying. And when they're on top, when they're winning, I would say, just me personally, I think that they're worse than Alabama fans. But, of course, I'm going to have a little Alabama bias with that as well. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. You can text your answer to the call-in question of the day. What is the most annoying fan base when they're winning? To the Red 7T phone line at 850-215-6290. More headlines and some more baseball talk when we get back here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
On ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
Got into a heated debate a couple of weeks ago in Chicago. Deep dish is not the true Chicago pizza.
Oh, boy.
Tavern-style pizza is the true Chicago pizza. Like, if you are a native Chicagoan, you're going for the tavern-style pizza.
Can you explain what that is?
A lot more than you're going for the deep dish style.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Sunny the rest of the day with a gentle breeze around 11 miles per hour out of the southwest and temps near 86. Tonight we will have clear skies and a wind speed of 6 miles per hour and be warm at 75. Sunny tomorrow and a high 86. Mostly sunshine Sunday with a temp of 86. Monday the high will reach 88 with mostly sunshine. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Introducing Southern Breeze Primary Care. With 45 years of experience, owners Holly Gay and Lisa King bring warm, friendly care, Southern charm, and a family vibe. They are the pros in youth sports, physicals, general health care, Bio-T hormone replacement therapy, certified DOT exams, and Coast Guard physicals. Southern Breeze, 107 West 19th Street, Suite B, 850-248-8002. Walk-ins are welcome and insurance is accepted but not required. Southern Breeze offers breezy solutions for your healthcare needs.
This is Patrick with Turf Pro Lawn and Pest Control. Your home is your piece of paradise. Turf Pro Lawn and Pest Control can protect your home from unwanted bugs and insects. These pests can cause damage, bring in germs, spread bacteria, viruses, and other problems. To stop and eliminate this from happening, our pest control service is what you need. Call Turf Pro Lawn and Pest Control at 850-890-5820, 850-890-5820, or look us up on Facebook at Turf Pro PC.
Now is the time for Braves country to cheer a little louder as the 2025 Atlanta Braves start chopping their way back.
Fly ball to deep right, way back and gone! Home run, Ozuna!
Tonight, the Braves are back in town and Truist Park will be rocking as they look for some redemption against the San Diego Padres.
Padres in Atlanta to take on the Braves. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock. First pitch, 6:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. Doing what other stations can't. The Afternoon Underdogs is live and local. 850-215-6290.
When you have completed dialing, listen for the ringing signal.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back into the Doghouse. This Doghouse was built up by CBC Construction. Give them a call at 850-747-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com. Caveman Rick, David Hayes, and the Bone Crusher here with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. Coming up in the next segment, we're going to be talking with Sergeant Jenkins about the Vortex Springs 6th Annual Rodeo. That's going to be today and tomorrow starting at 7 p.m. Vortex Springs is located at 1517 Vortex Springs Lane in Ponce de Leon, Florida. Tickets are $15. If you're under 5, you get in free. Just don't drive up that way without adult supervision. For more information, give them a call at 850-258-8471. And again, Sergeant Jenkins will be joining us in the very next segment to talk a little bit more about the Vortex Springs 6th Annual Rodeo. You ever been to the rodeo, Caveman Rick?
No, I have not actually been to a rodeo.
You would, I think you would enjoy the mosh pit there.
Yeah? I think you're lying. They have a mosh pit.
No, they don't. But if you get into that ring there with a bull, then you might...
Man, no offense, dude. I've been to a real bullfight overseas, so, you know.
But did you participate, though?
No, it was illegal for us. We couldn't be in military. If we were to do that, we could get in some serious trouble because I don't want dependents and, military guys to get hurt doing stupid stuff like that. Because obviously, when you're in the military, okay, so they pay for your health care.
Right.
So it would be stupid to let, the GIs and their families go out and participate, have them get all banged up, and then it's our tax dollars having to pay to fix people up, not to mention if they were to become permanently injured, and then everybody's sue happy. Let's sue Uncle Sam because I got hurt at the bullfight when I was living overseas. So
well, I was just asking just to see, how you would do in an
I think I'd probably do pretty good because my people, where I'm from, my mom's side of the family being over there, doing bullfighting and stuff.
It's in my blood. It's in my blood. Okay, all right. Well,
because of that, I would say I'm probably better than your average person that probably don't have it in their blood,
I guess I would give you that. I would give you that.
Saying.
I would take someone with some agility and, being able to climb up things. I would take them over.
Maybe it doesn't even need that, man. Maybe it's just the power you have over the bull, man. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of
power over.
You ever
the
see
bull.
like was it Crocodile Dundee? With the water buffalo kind of thing. And like mate, just put the smack down, the Jedi mind trick on the bull.
Yeah, and while you're wearing all red at that, I think that would be that would be. I would pay to see that. I don't think I'd
wear red though. But maybe a little Philly red, maybe some gray with some red or something.
I think is that a true fact?
I don't know. I think they can just hone in on the color easier. I don't think they actually like red makes them mad. I think it's just the color red. I mean, and then when you think about it too, and you go through like history and stuff,
they're colorblind to red and green.
Red's always like the color that people use for like war because of blood, and then like traditionally the bull, not Portuguese side, not on my side, but like the Spaniards and stuff. Sorry, Max, and putting the people that you like to chill out, with down, but that's where they kill the bull. They stick the darts like in its neck as it's running around, and then at the end they pull out the sword and they slit the bull's throat at the end and they kill the bull. Where I come from, my mom and my family comes from, they just Toro, play with the bull, cape, or runs up and down the streets, and when the bull's done, it goes back up in the pasture and makes little bulls and just kind of chills and enjoys his life.
Well, according to artificial intelligence, bulls are not actually angered by the color red. They are colorblind to red and green. The common misconception stems from the bullfights where the red muleta is used. The bull's reaction is primarily due to the movement and waving of the muleta. It's not its color. The red color also helps to mask the bull's blood during the fight, which is important for the spectacle. I wonder if any of those bulls have ever been suspended for PEDs.
Well, I mean, and like they're saying about the bulls, the color red, and like the waving around them is what kind of attracts them and stuff. Yeah, and the fact that you're also trying to stick darts in the back of their neck and stuff like that probably got something to do with why they want to run you down as well. I'm sure, Doesn't help.
Hey, yes, sir. All right. Well, we had the NBA playoffs last night, but there's a couple of things from baseball. The Colorado Rockies, with their 2-0 loss to the Phillies last night at Coors Field, fell to 8-42. That is good for the worst 50-game start in baseball's modern era, which started after 1900 and 1901. The 1904 Washington Senators held the previous 50-game record in the modern era, opening that season up at 9-41. It's also worse than the 1899 Cleveland Spiders, who went 9-41 out of the gate, and they set the single-season loss record of 134 games. Then that also put them on pace the Rockies on pace for 136 losses, which would break the Cleveland Spiders' 126-year-old mark. Last year, the White Sox started out at 15-35, and they finished with a modern era record of 121 losses. The Rockies, 1-9 since they fired Bud Black on May 11th, and they've been shut out 8 times this season.
And that's only in 48 games. So they have 2 more games that they could still lose, and they can even beat their own record a couple more times. If you think about it that way. So.
Oh, just historically bad baseball being played for the Rockies. Do you think the interim coach gets fired this year?
Like, why?
Why not at this point?
No. You shouldn't.
The owner...
It's not the coach's fault. I mean, you guys got, systemic problems. It's not one guy in the organization that's, bringing you guys down, obviously.
I agree with you. But since you've already fired the manager, might as well just whittle them down one by one. And should the owner recuse himself from ownership? Should he sell the team?
I don't know if you could say that. You gotta try to win. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You actually have to legitimately try to win. Now, I'm not I don't know enough about the Colorado Rockies to know in the last handful of years if they're really spending money and doing the things that are really necessary to try to put a winning team out on the field. If they legitimately are trying, then it's sometimes you're going to have woes. Sometimes you get the wrong people in particular jobs. Sometimes all the talent around you, in other teams, is a lot more better, and then it's hard to compete too. So there could be a handful of reasons why. We've seen some other reasons, other teams, for years and years and years, just not do nothing. Not like the Rockies though have been any kind of traditionally great team, a great franchise, to say the least. But you would think too with that. Ballpark and the ability to hit home runs, find like your identity. Like I said, like, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. If that's like, an easy way to maybe get wins, put W's up, put butts in the seats too, is by cranking out home runs, then just get you a bunch of sluggers, and then if anything, just have fun out there and just see how many home runs you can get in a game, because you'll probably win some games anyways doing that, outscoring some other teams. And then, hopefully if you get those W's and you kind of get a little bit of momentum and traction, maybe, you can bring in some other talent a little easier other than just having to trade and just getting the unfortunate player that gets traded to your franchise because the other team's wanting to make a move, But, yeah, I don't know. That's a tough say, about who's, needing to sell a team. But I think if you're legitimately not trying to win and you're just using it basically for income-based kind of a thing, I think they should pressure them kind of into going out, because you have terms and clauses for leagues like conduct detrimental to the league. If you're not trying to help the league grow, that's a detriment to the league. You know what I mean? If you're hurting the equitability of the franchises and like the other owners and stuff like that, then you're hurting the league. So if that's the case, then you probably need to go.
I agree with that 100%. But how do you think the other 29 owners feel about an owner who's not giving, maybe not their all, but if you're a franchise that's competitive, does it bother you if other teams aren't trying to be competitive? Because that's just like one less team that you have to worry about. If you're the Dodgers and you're in the same division with the Rockies, who don't care, like it's almost a vacation when you go play them.
Yes and no, but in the grand scheme of things, in the end, though, if everybody's more competitive, there's more money to go around for everybody, right?
I would agree.
Like if you have franchises that can't put fans in the seats, they're not making any money, so that's, like I said, a detriment to the league. Like when you're traveling to a particular town, if that town's fan base is coming out more to see your club than the home team, that's not good. You know what I mean? So, and yes, it's helping out the revenue for the team a little bit because another team like that's coming in where they can showcase somebody else, but you're still not, you're not adding wealth to the league, I guess, if you will. So yeah, it's conduct detrimental, I think, to the league, and I think there's something that they should do about that. If you have ownership in any league, whether it's NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, that's not putting forth the effort, I think there should be ways to try to force them out over a certain amount of time. We've seen how before it was like old heads and old money, where your only revenue stream was coming in from selling tickets, from selling jerseys, concessions at the stand, parking, to where now, these franchises that are being owned by these billionaires, that's just like having a fancy car. It's more of a toy. They made their money in tech. They made it in real estate, oil, whatever else out there. And then this is just them reaping the benefits of their hard work in life, and having something to show for it. And so they can exploit, other things by using money that they have, from, other revenue streams to pump into something like that. And if they take a L and they have to write a bad check every now and again, it's not a detriment. It's not hurting their pocket necessarily. This is like expendable money, I think, for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be. I wasn't really too worried about the ownership, but hey, you took it and ran with it, and I was thankful for it, my friend.
I'm not worried about them. Like I said, these guys are billionaires, but if you're talking about wanting to grow the league, right, and make everything better, what's like the NFL talking about right now? Like maybe wanting to play overseas and stuff, and they're doing games there. Well, then you have to make the league more equitable. You have to have like every team matter and have everything meaningful, I think.
But it does in the NFL, though.
Well, a lot more maybe so than some other sports that we're talking about. But I say, like, grand scheme of things, you have to have where everybody's wanting but again, too, the NFL is the only one that's really playing internationally and going out there. You don't see,
baseball's going to play in Mexico. It played in Japan.
And they got the series, but they're not talking about putting franchises over there. While the NFL's talking about wanting to do.
The NFL's tried the foreign franchises.
And they have, but it was years and years ago, too.
It was, but I still don't think that would work because, what do you, the travel of it is just too much of a monstrosity.
I understand what you're saying, too, but it's like, again, like we were talking about about hockey, talking one about to expand in a city like Atlanta for the third time, right?
Yeah.
So we've seen that show, a couple of times already, and they're talking about a third time. Well, they've already expanded NFL like overseas in Europe a couple of times. So what? You don't think they'll go down that road the third time? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm getting at, and they'll find a way when it's quote maybe the right time, and they think they can exploit it, and maybe it'll grow, and maybe it will finally after the third time. But we've seen so far it hasn't.
I think your best bet would be putting they've tried this as well with having a league over there, but.
Yeah. Like NFL Europe, they had the Rhine Fire, and I think the London Monarchs were names of some of the teams.
Yeah, they had 6 to 8 teams or something like that. Yeah, but I can't. It's still the players who are, or the fans who are over there watching the subpar players, the guys who couldn't make it to the league, because that's essentially what would happen, are still going to be yearning for the big stars to come from over here in the States to over there and play in front of them. So we'll see how it all plays out for them, but they are continuing to make that venture, and they're picking up new cities each and every year to play in as well. And hey, for the first time, they're doing something this year with the Chargers playing on YouTube, not YouTube TV, but actual YouTube. So the league is giving us a bone, giving us a free game to watch.
See.
Oh, thank you.
Well, hey, honestly here too, and I don't want to be a downer, but it hasn't happened yet either.
That's a good. That's
a lot of things could change between now and then. I'm not this is I don't say tinfoil hat stuff, but hell, somebody could buy YouTube and they could sell out or something, and then change their minds and say, hey, this is something we don't want to get involved in, or just whatever. So any possibilities. I'm just saying, talking about it sounds like a good idea, a free game, if you will, for a lot of people, but there's going to be some catches there, I'm sure, some fine print probably.
And some bad news as we're switching gears here from for the Boston Red Sox. Their third baseman, Alex Bregman, left today's game where they won first part of a doubleheader 19-5 in the fifth inning after suffering an apparent injury while rounding first base. So that is definitely something to monitor there with the Boston Red Sox and with Alex Bregman. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. When we get back, we'll be talking with Sergeant Jenkins a little bit about Vortex Springs' 6th annual rodeo. Then we'll dive into a stat that you didn't think you'd hear from Caitlin Clark in her career. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida.
The ride home just got more dangerous. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your spot for the Afternoon Underdogs.
One of the more underrated, fast as lightning. That he's got perseverance.
Weekdays 4 to 6, live from the CBC Construction Studio. Reactions, rants, and your calls at 850-215-6290. The Afternoon Underdogs are live and local. Weekdays on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Sunny the rest of the day with a gentle breeze around 11 miles per hour out of the southwest and temps near 86. Tonight we will have clear skies and a wind speed of 6 miles per hour and be warm at 75. Sunny tomorrow and a high 86. Mostly sunshine Sunday with a temp of 86. Monday the high will reach 88 with mostly sunshine. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. ESPN Northwest Florida. The tradition continues.
It is a walk-off home run for Sean Murphy into the Braves bullpen.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
We are back in the doghouse. This doghouse is provided by CBC Construction. Head on over to cbcconstruction.com or call them at 850-747-3815. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can like and share our Facebook feed and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go download the app and register 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Go to your Google Play Store or your Apple Store. Type in 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Now over on the Red 7Ts phone line, we've got Jim Jenkins with Let 'em Buck Rodeo. Jim, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you, sir?
I am doing wonderful. Thanks for joining us this afternoon earlier on the Inside Drive. And then once again here today, we're getting ready for the Vortex Springs 6th Annual Rodeo. What's been your favorite of the 6 so far, Jim, at dealing with the Vortex Springs Rodeo?
Oh, man, I tell you, it's always a pleasure to come to Vortex Springs. Water's always cold and the people are always great. We always have a good time when we come here.
Yes, sir. What can people expect from the Vortex Springs Rodeo?
Oh, man, we got it all. We've got more food vendors than you can shake a stick at. I tell you, you want it, we got it. We got calf roping, team roping. We got mutton busting. We got the calf scramble. We got bull riding. We got saddle bronc riding. Bareback riding, you name it, we got it. We got a funny man that'll make you just laugh uncontrollably.
There you go. Jim, what's your favorite event? Although you just rattled off a whole bunch of fun-sounding events, what's your favorite event?
I would have to say the mutton busting. I love watching them kids go at it.
Now explain to the listeners what mutton busting is.
Well, what mutton busting is we bring some sheep in, and then the kids get to compete riding the sheep to win a prize. And so it's really fun to watch those kids get out there and ride them sheep, and hopefully that's the beginning of a new lifestyle for them.
There you go. Jim Jenkins on the line with us with Let 'em Buck Rodeo over there at the Vortex Springs 6th Annual Rodeo going down tonight. The rodeo is starting at 7 p.m. What time do the gates open tonight, Mr. Jenkins?
The gates open at 5 o'clock. The mutton busting starts at 6. And we ride the sheep until 7 o'clock. And then the rodeo starts at 7. Bring a lawn chair. We do it old school style here. Bring your lawn chair, get up close, and just come have a good time.
Now, Tim, how'd you get involved with Vortex Springs and helping out with the rodeo?
They contacted me several years ago and told me that that they did a lot for the community up here, and they was trying to figure out a fundraiser to help the community. So I was all on board with it. If it's to help the community or help kids, I'm certainly willing to jump in there.
What would you say separates this rodeo from the others that you attend?
Oh, the atmosphere, and then the cold spring down there that you get to go get in afterwards.
There you go. I'm sure that makes it fun, just taking you a nice little dunk in the spring. Now, we asked you what your favorite event was. What's the toughest? What do you believe is the toughest event in a rodeo?
I think every event is tough because these guys really have to get out there and they got to practice, and they got to, even when the crowds aren't there, they're still there. And they got to go out there every day and they got to rope that dummy or ride that barrel or get on a rough bronc. And they just, it's just not Friday and Saturday night for these boys and girls. They're out there working hard every day. And that's outstanding. That's a big deal.
And
that's a big sacrifice for them.
Absolutely. And you mentioned all of the food vendors out there. Tim, what would you say is the best rodeo food?
Well, I can tell you what I love. You put a funnel cake in front of me, and it ain't going to be there very long, brother.
There you go. I got to ask, what's the difference, this being a 2-night event, what's the difference in tonight and tomorrow? Is it going to be the same ordeal, or is there a tournament? What's going on with the 2-night event?
Well, the guys that compete here tonight, they'll leave here tonight, and there'll be new contestants tomorrow. On a 2-night event, you have a constant flow of new contestants. You may have a time tonight, and then somebody else come in tomorrow night and beat your time. or your ride. So, yeah, when you say, oh, well, you only have this many cowboys, that's not true. You get different cowboys every night.
Different cowboy. There you go. Who's your favorite rodeo rider of all time?
That would have to be probably Chris Ledoux or Tough Peterman.
All right, yeah. I didn't know if I was going to know one, and then you said Chris Ledoux. I was like, all right, yeah, I've heard about that 8-second ride. All right, so
Sergeant Jenkins, thanks for giving us some of your time this afternoon. Real quick, I got a question I was wanting to ask. So, like, something I know about rodeos, like, at least a little bit. You guys going to have, like, rodeo clowns there as well, doing the kind of shenanigans and stuff, I guess, like, maybe in between and acting out for, like, the kids and whatnot?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
We're going to have our funny man, Mr. Reggie. He's going to be going around and making jokes and playing with the kids.
That sounds awesome, man. Good time, then. Good time for bringing the family out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a family event. We everything we do is family oriented, and God, family, and flag. That's what we believe in.
There you go, God, family, flag. I love that. Is there an age limit for the mutton busting?
Yes, sir. The mutton busting is 5 to 14, and they got to be less than 60 pounds.
All right. Well, there you go. So this is going to be tonight and tomorrow. The gates open up at 5 o'clock. Mutton busting starts at 6 o'clock, and then the rodeo festivities will get underway at 7 p.m., and this is going to be out there, Ponce de Leon, Florida, Vortex Springs. If you haven't been, I mean, this is a great place to go catch a rodeo, just a great place to be in general. Is there anything else you want to give us, Mr. Jenkins, Mr. Tim Jenkins, on the Vortex Springs Rodeo?
Y'all come see us. Bring your lawn chair, and like I said, we do it old school style. So bring your lawn chair, get close to the action, enjoy our great announcer Brent Davenport, and just come enjoy it. And we'll make sure that we do our best to entertain you.
There you go. And one more question for you: how did you get into rodeo yourself?
Oh, lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
We've been doing it up for over 20 years now. So we've just really enjoyed the sport and just kind of rolled into it.
Do you have a good story about maybe getting bucked off or one of your best rides or anything interesting for the listeners?
No, we ain't going there, brother.
All right.
Hey, Jim, Bone Crusher here. A quick question for guys like Caveman Rick or from the north who say rodeo, don't even know the word rodeo. What should we do to entice them into coming out there?
Well,
how do you get a Yankee down to the rodeo?
Yeah, city slickers.
Lasso.
We got some city slickers up here.
You tell him that we got hot dogs better than he's ever had up north. So, he thinks, yeah, exactly. I mean, them northern guys, they think that all the good food's up north, but they're sadly mistaken. They need to come to this rodeo and they can get anything and everything.
There you go.
There you go. Great question, Bone Crusher. Mr. Jenkins, thanks so much for your time, and enjoy the rodeo yourself, and we'll be sending people up your way.
All right. Thank you very much. Y'all enjoy.
All right. Vortex Springs Rodeo tonight and tomorrow. Gates opening up at 5 p.m., mutton busting 6 p.m., and then the rodeo at 7 p.m. You've never been to a rodeo before? I've been to a couple of them, man. They are a lot of fun, and how Mr. Jenkins said, the funnel cake is where it's at. What's your favorite type of fair food? Do you go for the funnel cake, the sweets, or the goldfish?
I'm not down with too much with the sweets, I guess. I don't know, like hot dogs or like bratwursts, something like that, like funnel cakes. I'm not too, like funnel cakes to me like are, I don't know, kind of, I don't say generic, but like if I like to have something like a little bit more sweeter, like a dessert kind of thing, or something like, I don't say a little fancier, but funnel cake to me is just kind of, yeah.
Well, Jim threw down the gauntlet on the hot dog. Does that sound like a challenge you're up for?
I don't know, maybe. Like I said, yeah, like I'm down for a good hot dog or a good brat or something like that. Yeah, those are good.
Food, that's a great way to get your toes into the rodeo water.
You would think, though, like rodeo would be like different stuff like ribs or like the big like turkey leg or something
20-ounce
like that.
steaks.
Yeah, because it's a rodeo, you know what I mean? It's like,
get you a rodeo or a cowboy steak.
Yeah, something like
just
that.
Eat it, like when you go to Disney or whatever, they got those big turkey legs, but you just got a tomahawk steak walking around with it. Yeah, that would be.
I might get Rick down there.
That'd be interesting, though. It'd be kind of messy.
All right, our trivia question for the afternoon. You can win a 12-pack of Buffalo Rock, $25 to Not D, but that boot store. And we'll throw in you know what? One of those is for you, Bone Crusher, if you'd like. We've got some hats for Panama City Comedy in there. Let's give one away here for our trivia, though. So 12-pack of Buffalo Rock, $25 to Not D, but that boot store, and then Panama City Comedy. And I'll tell you guys about Panama City Comedy and the event that they're having tonight at Gary's Oyster Shack, and all some of the proceeds of that will be going to help our very own Ryan Mulvey. That'll be tonight at Gary's Oyster Shack. But the trivia question: which team has played the most season opening games on Monday Night Football? Which team has played the most season opening games on Monday Night Football? 850-215-6290. Hit us up on the Red 7T's phone line. Caveman Rick.
Yeah.
Going into the break, I said we were going to talk about a statistic that maybe we didn't think Caitlin Clark would be achieving, but she went 0 for 5.